Hello, Watem here. Welcome back to some more Umineko When Seagulls Cry. I've changed some video recording settings, some like bitrate stuff. So let me know in the comments any feedback with that. If there's any changes, if it's better, if it's worse, please let me know. Yeah, without any further ado, let's continue.
むしろ何か怪事件が起こってほしいものだね。
How strange you would think that. Perish the thought that she would want a bizarre crime to occur.
犠牲者役はごめん被るが。
You'll have to play part of a victim to her nonsense.
あなた、不謹慎です。
まあ。
Yeah, you shouldn't say such things. You should say that you would be most joyous to play the part of a victim.
人間のミステリーの歴史なんてほんの100年足らず。そのトリックもアイデアもほんの数種の焼き直しですでに描くべきことなどありません。いかなる不可能犯罪、密室殺人が起ころうとも、すでに類型化されているどれかのトリックを形を変えただけに過ぎないのですから。まあそれでもミステリーが読み物として現代でも通用するのは
Yes, it's no longer the golden age of mystery.
古典もろくすっぽ読まない付け焼き場の自称マニアが自分の不勉強ゆえに知らない古典トリックをさも新鮮であるかのように勘違いして大騒ぎしてるだけなんですが。
Everyone couldn't help but gape at this imposing claim. If an aged critic had said it, that would have been one thing. But to think that a young person like this could say it so boldly. Young people can be plenty bold, even if they don't actually have knowledge to back it up.
ミステリーなんて
It's been solved?
もう半世紀も前に終わったジャンルなんです。
Didn't predict it.
私に言わせればですが。でも不勉強なバカばっかりのおかげで私は探偵面ができるというわけです。
それを言ったら恋愛なんてシェイクスピアの時代に完成されてて以後は読む価値もないってことになるぜ。
Indeed, it's not just the tricks involved. There's plenty of other things to the story.
そうですね。じゃあロミオとジュリエットさえ読んどけば恋愛なんてもう理解できたも同然ってことじゃないんですか？
No. I mean, romance especially, the whole point is some degree you have to envision yourself in it, right? Anyway, I guess you could also see it as... Yeah, anyway, it needs to be relatable in some way. Having read Romeo and Juliet does not mean that you've understood all of romance.
そんなわけねえさ。本は読んだ数を競うものでもねえが。さりとてこれで十分だと威張るもんでもねえ。過去の古典の話ばかりで新書を読まねえのはいわゆる悪しき解雇主義じゃねえのか。それこそ読書をサボる年寄りどもの言い訳だと思うぜ。
Or a kid being edgy.
そうですね。私もバトラさん程度には本を読まないと言いまかされちゃいそうです。
俺本なんか読まねえし。
And yet, last volume you were able to pick out exactly which Japanese book had the most murders in it, I think? Battler chuckled, but Erika knew from the previous game that Battler was actually quite an avid reader. So, His words felt more like more of a challenge.
そんなにも推理自慢ならクイズとかパズルとかは得意そうだね。
ああ、マリアさ、ほらクイズとかの本持ってなかったっけ？
This might be interesting. Realizing that Erica's arrogant statement had made the atmosphere a little more tense, George smoothly changed the subject. By now, it was more than clear that she wasn't the cute guest she had appeared to be. Maria pulled a book out of her bag that had quizzes and puzzles written on it and started reading them to everyone. If it's for Maria, I'm expecting that they won't be too difficult. Go out there. Anyway, it looked like it might turn into a peaceful quiz party, but of course that isn't what happened. As a credit to all her big talk, Erica managed an impressive ratio of correct and immediate answers. She took complete control, and her bragging began to escalate more and more. I feel like I'm now beginning to understand why she thinks she has understood all of romance. George slightly regretted the choice he'd made when changing the subject.
106回です。トーナメント表を書くまでもありません。
Yeah, not like you were keeping track or anything. The question, how many matches would you need for a tournament with 107 teams, was answered instantly by Erica. Wait, what? 106? Yeah. That's a fairly straightforward computer science one. You've got a tournament tree. Well, actually, any tree has one less branch than it has nodes. Is that true for any graph? No, not true for any graph, because you can have extra edges between these. Anyway, yeah, any tree will have one less edge than nodes. There's actually some geometry stuff that you can twist graphs into that kind of thing of I think like a shape, like edges plus corners minus equals faces plus 2 or something like that. I can't remember what the exact equation was, but yeah, it's along those lines. Every graph has one less edge than nodes, and a tournament tree is a type of graph. Therefore, the matches, which are the edges, would have to be one less than the number of competitors, which are your nodes.
これは問題というより知識です。参加チームから1を引いた数が必要な試合数という公式がありますので、まあ例題の4チームなら3試合、8チームなら7試合という数字を見た時点で法則性に気づいて当然ですが。
Of course, if you've got different styles of tournaments, so it's not just the straight tournament, maybe you've got a loser's bracket, that changes things up. You've now got an extra tree to manage. It could be something where every like person plays against another person multiple times. It could be tennis, where you've got no game, set, and match. Match is the final one. You only have one of us. Okay. In chess, they tend to play multiple games because it's like white and black aren't equal starts, so they tend to have 2 or 3 games per pair. So would that count as 2 matches or 1 match? Anyway. So actually that last one, if you look at the example showing 3 matches for 4 teams and 7 matches for 8 teams, it should be easy to figure out that pattern. Not necessarily, I will say that. Because sometimes patterns aren't what they originally seem. One example that immediately comes to my mind is if you draw 2 points on a circle and draw a line straight through, you split the circle into 2 parts. If you draw another line then you split into 4 parts, and then 8 parts, and then 16 parts, and so obviously the pattern is the next one would be 32. But it isn't, it's 31. And so the pattern isn't what it initially seems. There's a very specific reason why it originally follows Powers of 2, but it's not Powers of 2. You've got 2 editions, and for the first few terms, it is all of the Powers of 2, but then you no longer add the extra terms afterwards, and so that's why you get left with 31. But you can't just leap to conclusions. You need to actually solve these patterns, typically using induction or some other method. But yeah, all that to say, 3 matches for 4 teams, 7 matches for 8 teams is not a proof that it would be 106.
エリカすごい。
エリカお姉ちゃんでしょ言ってごらん。
おお、エリカお姉ちゃんすごい。
大したもんだな。なるほどな。自称探偵は伊達じゃねえってわけだ。
まあ探偵を気取るつもりならこの程度は。
すごいね。きっと将来は本物の探偵になれると思うよ。
まあもうそのつもりですが。
The cousins all thought about the answers to the questions, but Erica always answered first. Moser thought it was a bit rude of Erica to say the answers out loud while people were still thinking, instead of keeping them to herself. But since Erica was a guest, she decided against mentioning it. In truth, Erica was perfectly aware of this when she answered the questions instantly. Each time, she would grin broadly, and so saying, "You all still haven't solved such an easy problem?"
エリカちゃんは名探偵さんなんだから、あまり本気にならなくてもいいんじゃない
そうですね。子供向けの問題なのにムキになってしまいました。気をつけますので次の問題をお願いします。
よーし、今度は負けねえぞ。マリア、次の問題を頼む。
大きなチーズが1個あります。それをナイフで1回切り分けると2つになります。
Don't tell me it's going to be the exact example I gave. Oh, surely it's not.
では8個に切り分けるには最低何回切ればいいでしょう。
あ、僕はこれ知ってるよ。だから黙ってよっかな。
I guess it depends how you define a slice. If you can keep... So... It isn't the example I said before, but yeah. If you cut it in half, if you do one cut, like, perpendicular, does that count as one cut or 2 cuts? Or 2 pieces of cheese? George, acting like the adult he was, set up a mood that would prevent people from answering right away even if they knew the answer, in effect sending a warning to Erica. It seemed that Erica understood, and she averted her gaze, snorting derisively.
8個なら4回で切り分ければよいのでは？バカね。それが答えだったら問題にならないじゃない。
そういうことだな。こういうのは想定の回数より少なくできるものと相場が決まっている。
Yeah, it would be free. Because a slice of cheese, wheel of cheese is 3D. So you make 2 to split it into 4 parts, and then 1 cut through the half, I would say.
しかし、どうすればいいやら。
Yeah, my first thought was, I mean, it would be 2 to the 3 to get you 8, but then I tried to actually cut it and then went to 4.
ああ、わかったわかった。
Yeah, 2 to the 3 giving 8 means that 3 would have to be the minimal possible answer, but not necessarily that there isn't an answer that exists with 3.
こりゃチーズだからできることだな。
3-dimensional and not a circle.
そうね。バースデーケーキでこれをやったら大喧嘩になるわね。
そやな。チーズならともかくケーキを切るにはその切り方じゃあかんな。
I mean, I guess with cheese as well, it depends on the type of cheese. If it's got like a rind, a nice rind to it.
みんな答え分かってんのかよ。くそ、分かんねえの俺だけかよ。
あー、わかったぜ。なるほどね。3次元で考えなきゃダメなんだ。
うわ、ジェシカまで。わかんねえ。どうすりゃいいんだ。
マリア、答えわかるよ。
Even Maria knows.
ここに書いてあるもん。
Oh, yeah, that's kind of cheating.
ほら、マリアだって答え見るまでわからなかったでしょ。わかる？バトラ君。
なるほど。私にもわかりました。これはチーズだからこそできることですな。
Nandre copying someone's homework there. Yeah, Nandre copying Riro's homework. Are we going to go through everyone, including the servants? So.
南條先生まで分かっちゃったのかよ。ひょっとして俺だけ？俺だけが分かってない？
バトラさんの頭も少し火を通せばチーズみたいに柔らかになりそうですね。
What is that statement?
ナイフは0回で手でちぎれるとかそういう答えじゃないんだろ。
I love that answer though.
なわけねえぜ。ナイフ以外では切れないチーズってことで。
Wow, that's some impressive cheese.
チーズを立体的に想像するんだよ。難しいなら紙ナプキンの裏に絵を描いてみるのもいいかもね。
I feel like if you draw a picture on a paper napkin, chances are you're just going to make a 2D circle.
大きなチーズが1個あるんだろう。それをナイフで8つに。ナイフは直線じゃなきゃ切っちゃダメ？
Yes, I suppose having it cut in a non-straight line would allow you to do it in 2? If it's not intersecting itself, if it is intersecting itself, then obviously you could do it with 1.
ええ、そうよ。ナイフは直線に切るだけ。まあ、でもヒントね。切り方は直線にじゃなきゃダメだけど、どこを切るかは自由なのよ。
どうやってナイフを入れればいいか、いろいろ想像してみろ。
Really think about a bunch of ways to stick a knife in something. That's definitely not going to come back tomorrow. Yeah.
少々ひねくれたやり方を想像した方がいいだろうな。バトラ君のお手並みを拝見だ。
You have a large piece of cheese. How many times must you cut it with a knife to make 8 pieces? You obviously could do it in 4 cuts. Could it be done in even fewer cuts than that? So, yeah. 2 to 3 gets you 8. If you had to cut into 16, though, I don't think you could do it in only 4. I think because 3 dimensions would be the limits. Not sure though. Anyway, our hint so far point to it being possible specifically because it's cheese. If it was a birthday cake, you really wouldn't be allowed to do this.
Cheese. チーズだからできる技？おうおうおうおうおう、わかったわかった、すっかり騙されたぜ。頭が硬えとダメだな。
ようやくひらめいたようですね。
Now that I'm thinking about it, just completely unrelated to what's currently going on, but more to do with Anjay's role as observer. Whose point of view are we currently using? Are they the observer? And is it Anjay somehow? Or are we getting the point of view of this world's battler still? Anyway, also wondering, you know, in this game world, battler is presumably controlled by which battler, as is Maria. So which battler knows both hands but is making it to game world a peace battler doesn't know.
それが正解だといいのですが。
Watch him say for.
チーズはナイフ以外では切れないんだよな。ナイフは直線だけで切るんだよな。それ以外に何も条件はないよな。なあ。
Watch him say two.
特にない。
よっしゃ、間違いない。くー、ひでえ問題だぜ。これまるで謎だ。
上から切るばかりがノーじゃないってことだぜ。上から2回切って4分割。
I mean, technically, I guess, technically, you could cut it into 4 pieces from the side and then do one cut from on top.
その状態で側面から切れば、上段と下段に分かれて4分割が倍の8分割。
立体で考えないと出せない答えだね。つまり正解は3回さ。
そうなのか？俺1回だと思ってたけど。
Oh, interesting. Oh, so.
そらどんな魔法や。いくらなんでも1回は無理や。
これは謎々じゃなくて普通に算数的な問題よ。
おお、そうなのか。3回ってのはすぐに思いついたんだが、それじゃ簡単すぎて問題にならないと思ってひねりすぎたか。
バトラの答えの方が5本の答えより少ない。
Please explain your reasoning.
バトラが正解？
Depends.
ええ、そうです。
Oh, if you can twist it.
バトラさんが正解です。正解は1回です。
Battle was happy that someone had confirmed his answer. However, at some point, Erica's face had lost its cheeriness. She wanted to rub in her face, but all the others had said a higher number, while she was able to get lower, and now she's not able to do that.
私以外に1回と答えられる人間がいて、それがよりにもよってあなたとは。
エリカも答えは1回なのかよ。どうやらお前も相当ひねくれてるみたいだな。
1個のチーズと聞いてその形状を決めつけるのは実に愚かしいことですので。
Well, didn't they say a wheel of cheese? Which would imply a circle. A large piece of cheese. Okay. I kept referring to it as a wheel of cheese. Oh, okay. No, let's keep going back up. Did they call it a wheel of cheese? You have one large piece of cheese. Okay. Yep, fair enough. Oh.
できるわけないわ。お兄ちゃんの勘違いでしょ。3回未満でどうやって8等分するのよ。
If it's, I would guess, I haven't proved it, but I would guess that if it's a convex shape, yeah, entirely convex shape, then 3 is minimum. But if you have a shape with convex corners to it, you can get less.
愚かしや人の子よ。8つに分けろとは言っているが、等分にしろとは問うていない。
それにしたって不可能でしょ。
Well, I can think, suppose you have a shape of cheese which is, for the most part, like, on one side is a straight line, but then kind of like an E, except instead of just 3 legs in a way, you've got 7. You then just cut off all the legs. You get the 7 legs plus the 1 large part.
ナイフ以外の方法で切るの？
Although even then you could get it to be all the same shape if all the legs are the same shape as the height.
ナイフ以外では切れない。ナイフは直線に切らねばならないと条件がある。しかし逆に言えばそれ以外に条件はない。いや、そもそもチーズの形さえも示されてはいない。
そうか。みんなは大きなチーズが1個って聞いて、カマンベールみたいな平べったい円筒状のものを想像してたのか。
I did too. I immediately started referring to it as a wheel of cheese.
俺は朝食のトーストの上に乗せるスライスチーズを想像していたぜ。ナイフで切り分けるような立派なチーズとは普段縁がねえからよ。
チーズの形状に条件は示されませんでした。
So yeah, if it's a slice like that as well, you're able to bend it. And so, suppose you make a spiral shape, then you're able to just cut through the center of the spiral and get, or as many pieces as you have spiraled.
出題者のミスです。おそらくマリアさんのその本にはいわゆる平べったい円筒状チーズの図面があるはずです。
ある。ほら。
As Erica had guessed, the book Maria held had an illustration of a piece of cheese, just as Erica had described it. With a cheese of this shape, 3 slices really would be the correct answer. You cut in a plus pattern from the top to make 4 pieces, or you can have an X pattern on the side as well, that works too. And cut it from the side and double that and make 8 pieces. However, since this illustration hadn't been shown, the interpretation of the cheese had been left to the answerer.
確かにそうね。出題の時点でチーズの形状やその柔らかさなどには触れられていなかったわ。
そういうことです。どうやらチーズも頭も柔らかかったのはバトラさんの方だったようです。
わけわかんねえぜ。スライスチーズだったらどうしてナイフ1回で8個に分けられるんだよ。
お手元のペーパーナプキンで試してみたらどうですか？
Wait, did the paper napkin hint actually help him get this?
これをスライスチーズだと思って。
つまりよ、こうしてさ、蛇腹に折るわけさ。
Yeah, that works too. I feel though, at that point with sliced cheese, you'd be risking it breaking apart. Although I guess they said that it's indestructible except by the knife, so that's fine then. I had a lot of fun with this part, although I don't think I made much progress. In any case, I'll be leaving there for today. I hope you've all enjoyed. Let me know any feedback you have in the comments. And until next time, see ya.